What's going on YouTube? Joe Miner 3131 back again alongside JS Miner 87 here on the DFS Quarry channel, about to break down the main slate games here for Tuesday, February 19th, 2019. Before we get started, if you happen to like the video, click on that thumbs up. We sure do appreciate it. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Check out all the videos we put out there each and every slate as much as we can as far as that goes. We do have a Slack channel if you want to be part of that. Need your email address, let that in the comments below, or hit me up at DFS Quarry over on the Twitter machine. Send me a PM, give me your email address. I'll send the invite out to you, and we'll get you in the Slack up and running. Come in and bullshit with us all day long. So, without any further ado, Jared, you ready? We can dive right into it here. We're going to try something new, fellas. Each of us use our own screen share. I'm sure Jared's going to have more to talk about than I am. Just a quick glance over this. I know I'm not going to touch a lot of these games. So, what about you, Jared?
Yeah, just by, I did some early analysis here before the start. And, yeah, I mean, I've seen maybe 2 guys, 3 guys, potentials across the board. But overall, I'm like you. As of now, I don't even think I've come across any full game stack games. So I think you're going to see a lot of different lineups tomorrow. I don't know how much full chalky lines you're going to see in this one. And hey, makes it an exciting DFS and kind of puts everyone on that level playing field.
I agree. Like I said, nothing too interesting here in my opinion. So let's go ahead. We can, I guess, jump right into this and start breaking this thing down real quick and get out of here. It's a big slate. What are we looking at? 9 games, I think.
9 games.
Yeah, 9 games. So here we go. Diving right into it. First game up on the slate. New York Rangers heading into Carolina, take on the Carolina Hurricanes. Over under 6 in this game. Carolina is a -210 home favorite, and we should see Henrik Lundqvist and Curtis McElhinney. Jared.
Well, I think overall I did see some Rangers here earlier. You see in the Rangers in the past 3. What my screen share's doing here, if it's showing now. Is it? Yeah. It's sharing now, right? I think we are sharing. So, yeah, the Rangers certainly, the past 3 games, they have scored some potential here. So I kind of like a little bit one way or the other way. When I looked at these, looking at the left wing, I used a little bit of left wing lock to see 5-on-5 action. And then, paired that with Carolina using a little bit of home ice advantage to see where that goes. And ultimately, I've come to, I think I'd rather take a play here on this second line with Vesey, Hayes, and Buchnevich. More so than the first line here of Zuccarello, Zibanejad, and Kreider, especially for the 6K, 6,600 and 6,400. We know that Carolina is certainly pushing hard for that playoff spot. And I think they're going to need every bit of home ice to really put forth a solid effort. So I'm not high on this game, but I certainly wouldn't want to be, putting a stack here in the mid 6,000 range on these players here. You keep scrolling down. This third line got some little bit of action here going on the past 5 games, but like I said, 9-game slate. I don't know if I want to duck down that long, especially in a cash game. I'm not going to do that. And going down to the goalies here on the road, I'm not going to take a chance on the New York Rangers goalie situation. Going down to Carolina here, I think you got to stick with what's working here, and it's that first line here. Since Nino Niederreiter's come over from Minnesota, he's really made a good name for himself. 2 goals, 4 assists here in the past 5. 5 assists for Aho. I still think this whole first line is in play. And like I said, if I'm spending mid to upper 6,000s on a player, it's going to be on Aho, Williams, and Niederreiter here. I think that you'll see a lot there. Now let's go down this power play here. If you did want to swap out, maybe you want to swap a Niederreiter here for Tara Vainen, or Williams for Tara Vainen. I could see that play if you wanted to kind of hit the if you wanted to hit the power play action. And well, glad to hear you're having a good time, Cole, while the game's going on. Defensively here, a little bit higher priced defenseman overall, and for the production here for Carolina, I'm not really enjoying that. And I'm going to stay away from the goalies on the Carolina end as well here, knowing that knowing that the Rangers have put up, I think it's been 3 goals, 4 goals, and 5 goals in the past 3 games. So I'm not a big, I'm going to take the chance on a goalie in this one.
Like I said, I don't have a lot of interest in a lot of these games. For me right here, if we're going to talk about the Rangers at all, I like the top line only. Chris Kreider, Mika Zibanejad, and Matt Zuccarello. Let's pay attention to the trade rumors here going around. We don't want to get caught in that. But it's Kreider, Zibanejad, Zuccarello for me. Forward-wise here. And defensively, I like Mark Stahl. He's active. He's only 2,600. I don't mind him just as a cheap play for some savings. If you want to jump up, grab Kevin Shattenkirk at 4,100 and Neil Pionk at 4,200. I wouldn't talk you off that. But that's my interest in the Rangers. That's all I got there. Jump over to Carolina side here. These guys are playing like madmen. I hope they don't run out of steam here. If the Pens don't make the playoffs, I hope that Carolina does. Just because I like what they're doing here. Here's my quick comment on what Don Cherry had to say about these guys. I know Don Cherry is a big name in the hockey world, but man, come on, dude. You can't call these guys a bunch of jerks for their celebration that they do after a win. Good for them, man. Let them celebrate however they want. Look what the NFL does after touchdowns. You know what I mean? Look what guys do after big dunks in the NBA. I mean, come off it. These guys are young. This is how they are nowadays, man. Let them celebrate however they want. And besides that, Don Cherry, with all due respect, man, you cannot come out and make comments the way you are when you dress the way you dress, period, man. Because let's face it, you only wear the suits that you wear for attention. They only do these after game celebrations for attention. Wow, look at that. You guys got something in common. That's it, man. That's all I'm saying about it. Let these boys be boys. Let them play the way they want to play, man. As long as their owner doesn't have a problem with it, good for them. He signs their paychecks, not you, buddy. I like Niederreiter, Sebastian Aho, Justin Williams. You want Carolina, pay up for the top line. Don't be afraid to do that. Teravainen off the second line is great. Mike Furland, I like him as well. I got interest in this third line just as a money-saving line. Svechnikov, Martinook, and Brock McGinn. I would stick with the wingers with Svechnikov and Brock McGinn, but they're great fillers and great cash savings plays. So you can go up there and grab them top line plays or them, big money plays here on this slate. Jacob Slavin at 4,300, Dougie Hamilton at 5,200. They're both pretty good plays. Falk at 5,100 is a good play. Pesci at 4K is a fine play as well. You could go down. I mean, I really wouldn't do anything. I'd play the defenseman here that is going to draw power play time, which is Justin Falk, as well as Dougie Hamilton and Jacob Slavin. So that's where I'd go with it. That's pretty much it for me on this game. I don't want either goalie, Lundqvist, or McElhinney here. Let's move on. Next game up on the slate, we got the Pittsburgh Penguins heading into New Jersey to take on the New Jersey Devils. Pittsburgh is a minus 155 visiting favorite, over under of 6.5 in this game. Jared, what do you like here, bud?
We knowing the old Penguins and their streak here, no secret that New Jersey has owned the Pittsburgh Penguins over the past couple seasons. So I don't want to, as much as the Penguins have won 3 of 4 here, played better, I don't want to go full on board here. So me personally, I'm probably going to one-off a Crosby or a Malkin here. Not really go heavy on the Penguins, but Crosby here with, I think, 10 points last week alone to earn himself 3rd player of the week. I might just one off Crosby or something of that nature. But, Malkin played better this weekend. Maybe you can take a chance on him as well here. But like I said, it's too much risk here for me to think that, okay, they played a great couple games. They can't lose another one to New Jersey. Well, they can. They certainly can. Going down here, certainly Chris Letang on a defensive side of things in play, as well as Justin Schultz now back in the lineup. Maybe that's what they need to beat this Devils team. 3,500, a fair price for a defenseman that, maybe a few hiccups there after a long outage, but overall he's played quite well after being out that long. Certainly, goalie-wise, I think I'm staying away from the Penguins goalie situation here for at least the foreseeable couple games to see if they can't get it back on track. Let's go over here to the Devils side. It's hard not to think. Let's take a chance on more of a stack of Devils. So you look here, Heischer at 6,000 for a goal, 5 assists, and 16 shots here. Heischer's in play along with Johansson or Brad here. Very cheap plays on this first line against a team that has had success against Penguins. I can't reiterate that enough. That second line, Miles Wood, Travis Zajac, Kyle Palmieri, all in play again. Hey, maybe it will do the Penguins good since I think it is their first time playing the Devils without them having Brian Boyle, who was traded earlier this month to earlier. Is it this month or last month? Or he was traded to Nashville. So maybe that's what they need. But certainly looking at this, Zajac, Palmieri there, second line, I like the looks of that. I wouldn't even mind a chance on Miles Wood, just knowing his history against the Penguins as well. But I'm more so going to be on the New Jersey side of this. Andy Green at 4,200, I still don't mind taking a shot there. 7 shots, 12 blocks is an all right stat. Will Butcher, I played him the other night with, I think he had an assist for me at 3,300. The chance is there. Let's keep going down. And certainly I think we can look at one of the, if it is going to be Kincaid in net, I do have interest in Kincaid in net. I'm probably not going to go that way. But historic stats do show that Kincaid does stand a pretty good chance to win this game. So an interesting game where most might think the play's on the Penguins, but certainly Devils have owned this series.
I'm with you for the most part, man. On paper, the Pens are the play, man, but if you dive into it, the Rangers are somewhat a thorn in the Pens side, just like the Chicago Blackhawks are a thorn in the Pens side. I'm not going to talk you off any of the Pens plays here. You guys know what they are. Gensel, Crosby, Rust, Kessel, Malkin, Jugstad for savings. It's fine. The way I normally play this, I like to run Crosby, Malkin, and Kessel together. Letang is a good play, 6,500. He's playing well. He's among the league leading defensive scorers anyway now. Justin Schultz is back. He's a good play at 3,500. The Pens defense scored 4 goals yesterday in yesterday's game. So I think the defensive Tang and Schultz here is more interesting to me than anything else. But if you notice, the Crosby, Malkin, Kessel, that 3-man stack, the reason I ran that is because they're all on a top power play. If you can fit with Tang in, you can do that as well. I don't want no Murray here at all. I seen Schneider projected. I don't know if it is Schneider or if it is going to be Kincaid. I'm going to be different than Jared here as far as that goes. If it's Corey Schneider, I got interest in him. If it's Keith Kincaid, I do not have interest in him despite his last recent success against the Pens. I just think Schneider winning these 2 games in a row here, albeit one of them in relief of Kincaid, it doesn't matter to me. I think it was the confidence booster that he needed, and maybe we'll see Schneider back to what we think Schneider should have been all along here. So if it is Schneider, I do have interest in Schneider because the Pens are going to put the puck on the net, and he's in line, for 35 to 40 shots anyhow in this game. As far as the Jersey side of it, I do like them. I like Marcus Johansson. I like Hischier. I like Jesper Bratt on the top line. All 3 of them as a 3-man stack. I think you need to stack up Jersey here. If you want to go deeper, Cal Palmieri's playing out of his mind with Travis Zajac. That's great. Even with Miles Wood as well is fine. If you want a cheap one-off play here, Kenny Agostino, I wouldn't mind taking a shot there, or Joey Anderson at 2,700. I wouldn't mind a shot on either one of those 2. I'd stay away from the 4th line. You don't need it. Andy Green at 4,200. Yeah, whatever. Damian Severson at 4K is fine. I end up playing Will Butcher a lot at 3,300. He gets power play time. Second unit power play time, but it don't matter. At 3,300, I don't mind him. But Severson is on the top power play unit at 4K, so you could go there. If you want to get a little different here, man, I wouldn't mind running the Zajac Palmieri with the Johansson stack, Marcus Johansson, just to get a little bit different. Not that you need it. And like I said, Schneider, I do have interest in him. Moving on here. Next game up on the slate, we got Tampa Bay Lightning heading into Philly to take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Tampa Bay is a minus 155. Home or visiting favorite, rather. Over under of 7 in this game. We should see Louis Domingue, and we should see Carter Hart. Jared, what do you like here in this one?
Well, I just wanted to go down here first to these goalies here. Domingue looks like he's 1-0 with a 2.0 in his last 5 here. And let's go real quick down here. It is Carter Hart, 3-1 with a 2.76, 0.919. Looking over here, and this is the past 10 games. I pulled this yesterday. Power play action. Look at this. Look here. We have Philadelphia, 57 shots on the power play, 12 goals for on the power play in the past 10. Going down to Tampa, 9 power play goals here. So let's check over here on penalty kill. See where we can get goals against is where I like to look on this. 3 goals against here for Tampa, 4 goals against for Philly. But here in that, looking at those power play numbers and the chances here, I really have to go right into these power play units and make my plays there, at least from the Philly side. And look at this, guys. I mean, they got 2 solid power play units that are both producing at multi-point levels over the past 10. So for me personally here, let's see, I had interest here in this line too. So that's Couturier, Voracek, and Lindblom. So let's go down here on this power play here. So there's Couturier, second power play unit, Lindblom with second power play unit. And Voracek's on that first power play unit. So I wouldn't mind doing this second line on as a whole. I mean, that's 3,800 for Lindblom, fair price for 15 shots, 6,700, 9 points total for 6,700 for Couturier. Voracek 4 points, 6,200. This is a nice play here, and with them being on home ice, with that last line change, I think this line's going to play, or it's going to pay dividends tomorrow. So keep an eye out for that, guys. Write it down. I'm not telling you that this first line's a complete, write-off. You can play that. I'm just telling you that the line that I see doing a little bit more might be this second line. Certainly, Tampa Bay, one might say that second line, as Greg noted in the chat here, the second line of Tampa Bay is just going off. I mean, we got multi-goals by Kucherov, multi-goals by Point. Maybe that'll tell you that go to the first line this time. But for me, I kind of do my own rule of I play Stamkos at home and then try to go Kucherov on the road. But overall, I don't want too much here. Philly's played well. Carter Hart, I never seem to play well against him. He's like one of a couple goalies where I try to attack him thinking he's going to have a bad game, and he doesn't. For me, it's a one-off play again, whether it be Kucherov, whether it be Stamkos. Usually when I look for one-offs, those are the two that I go with. But one could argue that Point as a one-off tomorrow might be in play as well. That's from a forward perspective. I wouldn't mind if you wanted to do one of those one-offs from a forward perspective and add in Victor Hedman at 6K. I'd have no issues doing that. But once again, Philly's won 3 in a row, I believe it is. Might even be 4 in a row. They're at home ice. Tampa on a back-to-back. I don't really know if it's really a going to be tired legs. If they're tired legs for Tampa, it's because they've scored so much. But for me, I don't want to go too heavy here on the Tampa side. And I do believe they will be chalky again tomorrow.
Yeah, I think Tampa's going to draw ownership here. I don't want either goalie. Carter Hart's a good goalie. Louis Domingue is an okay goalie. These games tend to play high scoring. So Stamkos, Johnson, Braden Point, Nikita Kucherov, those 4. I'd like to get all 4 of those guys in the same lineup. Pretty expensive, but I'd like to do it anyway. Their third line with Killorn and Cirelli and JT Miller is fine as well. I really don't have interest in Yanni Gourde or Andre Palat, to be honest. Be all the other guys. Defensively, I've seen Hedman went out today. We'll have to find out what's going on there. If he does happen to be out, that puts Ryan McDonough in a lot better spot here at 4,100, so we'll pay attention to that. If Hedman's out, I'll lock and load McDonough. No goalie, like I said. Other side here, Philly, don't be afraid to game stack this. I wouldn't mind doing something like that. Because I do happen to believe that both sides are in great spots for offense here. As far as Philly goes, JVR, Claude Giroux, and Travis Konechny off the top line are great plays. Second line, Lindblom with Couturier and Jakub Voracek. I like that as well. Third line, if you want to go down there, I don't think that'll draw any ownership at all. But Lawton with Nolan Patrick and Wayne Simmons is also a fine play. So the top 9 for Philly are in play for me. Ivan Provorov is in play, as well as Travis Zanheim defensively for Philly as well. That's probably all I would do down there defensively, though. I do like this game for a game stack. If I play it at all, it'll be a full game stack from this one for me. Like I said, no goalies. I like the looks of that over-under of 7 here. I think this game will draw a lot of ownership. So if you do happen to game stack it, you're going to have to look to get a little different. So keep the defense in play. I do like Ryan McDonough from Tampa Bay here. Next game up, Buffalo Sabres heading into Florida. Taking on the Florida Panthers. Panthers are a -139 home favorite, over under of 6 in this game. We should see Carter Hutton and Reamer in this one. And before, Jared, you dive into this, just here, give you a quick stat or a quick thing I heard about Buffalo today. Did you know since the Buffalo Sabres went on their 10-game winning streak and that ended, they are the worst team in the NHL? That's all I got for you. What do you got?
Well, I was pretty much going to preface right into that and just going to show you guys. Yeah, 4-5-1 in the last 10 games here. And we could even go, this is even strength tallies only. 21 goals for, even strength in the past 10 games. That's an average of 2.1 goals a game, even strength here. You go to power plays. Let's see if we can get any 6 power play goals out of the past 10 games total. And only giving up 4 goals on the power play. So their penalty kill's been fairly good. Certainly shots against, only giving up 23 shots against. So penalty kill's really been the only highlight of the Buffalo Sabres. And, you know, I'll dive into a little bit of correlation of what I can see and who I like to relate them to. Florida here, 9 power play goals in the past 10 games. So that's pretty well there. A little under 1 power play goal a game here, 46 shots on that power play. So a little bit more to like on the Florida side. 240 shots for even strength, 19 even strength goals for. So not very well there from the Florida side either. So not a lot of interest in this game in particular for me on either end. But look here, as Joe was saying here, worst team in the NHL since that 10-game winning streak. And here's why. 3 goals here, 1 goal here, 1 goal here from your top line. 1 goal, 1 goal. And then you go down here and you got 2 goals combined between the third and fourth line. You know what this reminds me of? When I'm looking at daily faceoff, this has reminded me of the bad streak we've seen with Colorado. No depth scoring. If Skinner and Eichel and Reinhart are not carrying this team, they just got nothing. And it's a shame, really. You know, Sherry, Middlestat, and Rodriguez was decent for a while. I don't know what happened with Pominville, why they've moved him to the fourth line. I thought he gave him a little spark from time to time, but apparently his play is really lacked maybe defensively, that they've bumped him to the fourth line. So, and, you know, Ristolainen and Dahlin both are hit and miss plays as well. Tomorrow, I'm not really playing this game in particular at all. If I did play Buffalo, like I said, it's his first line completely. But at $7K for Skinner and $7,600 for Eichel, I'm just not a fan. Flipping the script here to Florida. If I'm on Florida, it's going to be line 1 here or line 3. I don't mind taking a shot here on this line 3. If you needed a nice second depth play here, Brassard has been a nice addition to what they've got here. 3,100, a goal and assist, 9 shots. Dennis Malgin playing well with 2 goals and an assist, third line. Maybe a GPP play. Like I said, first line for me tomorrow, it's going to be Huberdeau, Barkov, and Vetrano. I was on the second line until I seen Vetrano's back on this first line here. Vetrano's played really well the past 10 or so games. It's almost like since Trocheck came back, Vetrano was playing well. So I really like what Frank Vetrano's been doing. Defensively here, I tell you what, this is a very consistent defensive unit here, whether you are playing Matheson, Ekblad, or Yandel. Usually one of those guys are always involved on the score sheet from an offensive standpoint. I know it was Yandel last game, and look at this, 5 points in 5 games at 5,600. A little bit too much for me there. Same with Ekblad and Matheson. Defensively, I think they've priced themselves out of a play tomorrow. And Reimer, I think you got to give Reimer a look against a very struggling Buffalo team here. Let's see if Buffalo does. They're getting about 28 shots a game, even strength. So, yeah, I could see Buffalo getting, around 30, 31 shots. So I do have interest here in taking a shot on Reimer here.
Here's my plays from Buffalo. Skinner, Eichel, Reinhart. Fine. I really only want off Skinner. That's it. Done there. Florida side here. Barkov had a game like no other last night. Played out of his mind. That goal he had between the legs was absolutely amazing. Stunning. Probably one of the best goals of the year. Props to him. So Huberdeau, Barkov, Vetrano, I think that line could draw some ownership. Some. Not enough to worry about, I guess, but it's interesting. I definitely wouldn't let Frankie Vetrano off that stack, though. Second line, Hoffman, Trocheck, Dadonov, they're fine plays. I wouldn't mind mixing the top line and the second line up a little bit, get one or two from each line and move on from there. I had Dennis Malgin last night, man, worked out great. Awesome. I wouldn't mind going back to that with the pairing of Derek Brassard with Malgin. Just, price savings, get you some goal scoring potential there as well. Defensively, Aaron Ekblad, I like him. Matheson's okay. Keith Yandel's fine at 5,600. Pisk, even at 2,700 for price savings, is fine as well. Reimer here, this is, I believe, a little bit of revenge, if I'm not mistaken, for Reimer. So if that's the case, Reimer's interesting. I'll keep him on the list since I only have Schneider on there so far. We'll keep Reimer as well. Next game up, Columbus Blue Jackets, who are absolutely getting their asses handed to them right now as we speak by Tampa Bay. It's 5-0. Corpusella started that game. I don't know if he's still in there, man. If he's still in there, Torch is a bigger ass than what we all thought, man. But nonetheless, we should see Bobrovsky as they head into Montreal to take on the Montreal Canadiens on the back-to-back here. Montreal should put out price. Montreal's a -120 home favorite, over under 6 in this game. So both these teams, Columbus and Montreal, are going to need this victory tomorrow here. Jared, what are you looking at here?
Well, I guess I'm not talking to Cole enough when it comes to this Montreal team, because I swear the day that I play Domi and Tatar, Druin and Gallagher score. Yeah, and vice versa. If I play Druin and Gallagher, it seems like Domi and Tatar score. So tomorrow for me, I'm going to Montreal 1 here. Druin, Deneau, and Gallagher. And it's a really fair price, actually. $5,900 for Gallagher with a $5,400 for Druin and $4,600 for Philip Deneau. I like where that stands, and certainly we know that Columbus is capable of giving up a lot of goals, as we're seeing today. So for me, it's all line 1 for Montreal tomorrow. If you wanted to play Tatar and Domi as well, or an Andrew Shaw, I wouldn't think that that'd be a bad play per se. But for me, line 1, 6,100 for Shea Weber. I'm still not against that. 13 shots and 14 blocks. You throw in, he gets 1 point. Looking at about a 4-point night for him with an assist alone. I think that validates a 6,100 price tag. So I'm not against that. Looking here, if you did look at this power play unit, As I was saying, I got Druin and Gallagher and Deneau, which happens to be Druin here, Gallagher here, and no Deneau on the power play. If you want to one off here, maybe Kotkaniemi here as a one off in a GPP just for that power play correlation here. I could see that being a nice one off GPP type chance. 3,700, not bad play. And certainly he's no stranger to the scoreboard. He's played pretty well for the role that they've required him to play this year. Going over to Columbus, they've won a few more games certainly than Buffalo, but one or two more games of losses here, and you're going to see that this line here is the only one scoring, which leads for a very big disaster. And we're seeing the early stages here. Look at this. Fourth line got 1 goal in the past 5 games. Third line got 0 goals in the past 5 games. So if they're heading in that Buffalo direction, we can almost see a very troublesome Columbus where they do see the end light fading fast and they try to trade Bobrovsky and Panarin, which has been the talk really for the past month or so what they're doing. And they're holding on to that third in the Metro, but 2 points back is Carolina. So they need to really change their gameplay fast, and we're certain they're going to lose tonight. So certainly Cam Atkinson, Artemi Panarin, and Pierre-Luc Dubois is the only play from a forward perspective I'm going with here. Foligno, he at least gets some shots, but I don't like it. And, I don't want to, I'll say I'd play line 1, but that's a minimal chance here, guys. I really don't have interest in Columbus until I see them return back to glory. I see here Bobrovsky at 4-1. I'm not going to let that skew me into thinking that this is going to be another great performance for him. I'm steering away from Columbus, and I'm saying Montreal wins this one here 4-1 fashion, and Columbus continues the slide.
I am going to say, wow, man. I don't want any Columbus here until I just don't, man. There's other offenses to play here. If you want to play Panarin, Dubois, and Cam Atkinson, go ahead. I wouldn't talk you off of it. I don't want no Bobrovsky, the good old Bob. I guess I'm not as much of a fan, and I don't think his talent is there. Maybe I'm all alone here on this one, but I don't think that he deserves Carey Price kind of money, period. I'll move on. Montreal side here. This is where I think I'll be. Montreal needs this bad. I know Columbus needs it too, man, but I think Columbus just needs to trade them 2 guys with Panarin and Bobrovsky and try to get something in return. Don't get John Tavares. Get something back. Try to move on from it. You know what I mean? And wish Florida Panthers all the luck in the world when they go ahead and sign Panarin and Bobrovsky together. Good luck to Florida. Druin, Philip Deneau, Brendan Gallagher, they're great plays. Thomas Tatar, Max Domi, Andrew Shaw, I don't mind that as well. I don't mind a one-off of Joel Armia off the 4th line. You could pair him with Arturi Lehkonen if you so choose to do so. Kotkaniemi as well. So the 3rd line, I think, is in play. Nobody's going to play that. So you want to get way different with Montreal, play the 3rd line. Looks good to me. Defensively here, Shea Weber is a great play each and every night. So 6,100, I'm not afraid. Lock and load Shea Weber, great play. Jeff Petrie slowing down some with Weber, taking more of the initiative here and really getting back into game form here. So Jeff Petrie's not quite as hot as what he was here at the beginning of the year. Still a valid play. Jordy Bennett, 3,100, and Mike Riley at 3K. You can always get those guys at pretty much under 1% ownership, so they're fine play. Like I said, Joel Armia getting that top power play time with exposure to Drew and Weber and Tatar is great. If you don't want to do anything but grab a one-off from Montreal, man, make it Shea Weber. Shea Weber gets exposure to not only Druin and Tatar, he's also out on the ice when you got Gallagher out there with Max Domi and Philip Denault, all them guys. So he's got exposure to the whole top line and the whole second line. So Shea Weber's the best play, in my opinion, for Montreal. Carey Price, I'll keep him in play here. Although I must add, I think that little bit of a tailspin here for Montreal is due more to the fact that Carey Price hasn't had a couple, great games here, but Niemi yesterday was just flat out no good at all. So as long as Carey Price is standing on his head, Montreal, sky's the limit. Carey Price stumbles, Montreal's going to stumble hard, I think. So I do like Carey Price. Next game up on the slate, Toronto Maple Leafs heading into St. Louis to take on the red hot, can't be any hotter, St. Louis Blues, man. Cats are on fire. St. Louis is a -110 home favorite, over under of 6 in this game. Pretty much of a pick'em game here. We should see Freddie Anderson for Toronto going up against Jordan Bennington. Man, this kid is just amazing. Took a long way to get there, but he's here. I think he's here to stay. So Bennington versus St. Louis. Jared, what do you got going on here in this game?
Well, I tell you what, I would have never bet any money that says there was a time where I'd say St. Louis goes 10-0 over a course of 10 games. They're playing great. And you look at my little stat sheet on even strength here, and you can see why. Green is good, and you see a whole line of greens across the board here. 35 goals for even strength, 10 goals against even strength, 29 scoring chances for even strength, 70 high danger chances against even strength. You go to the power play here. Lacking on the power play. 4 power play goals in 10 games for them, where you see Toronto with 7. Certainly Toronto with the scoring chances, 69 scoring chances on the power play. Going here, like we said, St. Louis has only given up 4 power play goals against them over the course of 10 games. They've been lights out. No one's going to argue that. For me, I'm going to have to say it ends here. I'm going to have to say that the loss comes here, and I'm going to be all over this first unit. I do believe that looking at left wing lock here, Toronto, you can see Kapanen, Marleau, Matthews getting a little bit more goal production here on 5-on-5. I think the first line of St. Louis will be sent out against that Matthews line, and that's going to put me looking at Tavares, Mitch Marner, and Zach Hyman. I certainly don't want to ignore this power play unit, so I don't mind if you want to take a chance on Tavares and Matthews, or a Marner and Matthews combination. It will certainly, from a 5-on-5 perspective, you'll get more line exposure, more line exposure there, and you'll also get the power play, which certainly has been a great for the Toronto here, a high spot with that Morgan Riley here on the point as well, having a great year as well. But for me, it's line 1 with a little bit of power play 1, if you'd want to play it that way. Nazem Kadri, look at that, 21 shots on this third line because he gets power play time at 5,100. With William Nylander, I wouldn't have a problem if you wanted to play that in a GPP type setup. Going down, like I said, Morgan Riley certainly in play here. I still like Jake Muzzin since he's came over, 4,500. Love the way he blocks shots. And I do definitely have interest in Frederik Andersen tomorrow. Looking at the Blues, certainly Vlad Tarasenko, you can one-off him. You can play him with Ryan O'Reilly and Braden Shen as well. Certainly you'd want Tarasenko as a one-off. He's playing like Patrick Kane really in the league right now. 12 points in 5 games at 7,300. It's a real bargain, actually. They might have their hands full with that Matthews line, which might also give some exposure if you wanted to play this Jaden Schwartz, Tyler Bozak line pairing on the second line. If you're looking for a one-off and some price savings here, Barbashev, he's a hit or miss for a goal or a point, really. I always look to him to maybe get a little bit of a chance here. I never get it right, but hey, at least every 5 games here, he's due for a goal. So maybe you'll pick the right way tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to be off Bennington tomorrow. I do believe Toronto does win this one. It's going to be, I think it might be a 3-1 type game with maybe an empty net kind of at the end here, but I like Toronto here.
I believe that Toronto is in play. I'm not going to play Bennington. I think we could see some goals in this game. This game's a little bit more difficult to read, I think, than what we're letting on here. And I'm not going to write St. Louis off like that, man. I don't want either goalie here at all. I always play Toronto pretty much the same way. I don't think I'll move away from that. I like Tavares with Marner as a pairing. I like Matthews with Kapanen as a pairing. I like all 4 of them together. Is like a big old stack. Kadri with Nylander, Connor Brown, if you want to get exposure to Toronto, but stay a little bit different yet, that third line will be the way to do it. It's extremely cheap too. So as far as being a secondary stack, Brown, Kadri, and Nylander, keep that in mind. Morgan Riley at 6,200 is a pretty good defensive play as well. Jake Muzzin, 4,500. They split Riley and Muzzin up. That was a good move. I think it's just Riley defensively for me. I don't want no Freddie Anderson here, like I said. I think St. Louis is legit, and I think they're for real. Vlad Tarasenko, just to talk about him, he was being talked about in trade rumors here a month ago, 2 months ago, whatever it was. You trade him, get what you could out of him. Well, here's the deal with that. Come July 1st, he has a no-trade clause that's implemented in his contract. But up until July 1st, he does not. So that's what they were just looking at. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. But Shen, Ryan O'Reilly, and Vladimir Tarasenko, I don't care who they're playing. I don't care who they're playing, man. I think they're in play. I think at this point, man, we have to say that they're in play against whoever, anybody. It doesn't matter. So Shen, O'Reilly, and Tarasenko are the plays for me from St. Louis. Jaden Schwartz with Tyler Bozak, Robbie Fabry. I wouldn't play Fabry, but Bozak with Schwartz is okay. I like a one-off of Oscar Sundqvist off the third line at 3,500. I don't mind that at all. Barbashev as well at 2,700. He's a fine play with Robert Thomas at 2,900. He's okay. I like Alex Pietrangelo at 5,800. That's a good play in my opinion. Parayko at 5K, not quite as much interest there. I do like Pietrangelo though. That'd be it for me. And like I said, no goalies here. So we'll move on. Next game up on the slate. This game I have absolutely no interest in at all. Anaheim Ducks heading into Minnesota to take on the Minnesota Wild. The Wild are a -218 home favorite here. 5.5 over under. We should see Ryan Miller and Devin Dubnyk. Jared, I'll let you go into. I'm not going to play anybody here. What do you like here?
Yeah, I mean, you could find. I guess you could find a nice secondary chance here if you look at the Ducks here. It is a low over-under. Do you think the Ducks build off that 5-2 win the other night? Silverberg for 3 goals and 18 shots at 4,200. fair price there for a nice little one-off. Adam Henrique, 4,100, 3 goals and an assist and 13 shots. Another nice little one-off play. But like you said, it's hard to get on a complete stack here. I don't really like a whole stack. I wish Silverberg was with Henrique. Then I might stack there. But really, it's a one-off here. You flip over to the Minnesota. I do like Minnesota for the win here, but it's incredible to me that they're keeping a first line that has 0 goals in play like that. Why they might not move Zucker back down and put Parise back up a stall to get a little different is beyond me. But maybe you do take a chance, though, with Eric Stahl, Zucker, and Coyle at that price tag to build on what has been an ugly 5 games, or at least start. And I see there Cole in the chat there. Parise, Granlund, and Suter is his call. So, like you said, I'd be probably more so on this first line at home to get started than on this second line personally at this price. I think this is too much cost for the chance you're taking. The first line here, I don't think that's for first line minutes and stuff. I don't think that's a bad risk play in like a low cost kind of game. Maybe a multi-entry GPP might be the stack of choice, worth a quarter, worth a buck to chance on. Interest defensively here, maybe Suter, 5,300 with 4 assists, 13 shots, 8 blocks. He might be in play. Other than that, I don't want Spurgeon at 5,800. I'd rather take a chance here just on this first power play minutes with Suter. 8,100 for Dubnyk, just too much there. And just not enough trust here yet in Boyle or Miller. I think you said it was Miller. He did get I think it was a milestone win for him the other night where I got a alert for it. Yeah, so maybe he builds off that, but I'm not going to take a chance there.
Yeah, I'm going to switch over. Like I said, I'm not going to do nothing here with this game at all. Miller he's now the winningest American born goalie of all time, 375 wins. So that's a big milestone. Good for him. I think Devin Dubnyk is in play if you want to play a goalie from here, but that's it for me. I'm not even talking about them. Next game up, I really don't have much interest in this one either, man. Nashville Predators heading into Dallas, take on the Dallas Stars. Stars are a -109, home favorite, 5.5 over/under in this game. We should see Pekka Rinne and Anton Khudobin. This is a Central Division battle here. I think it's going to be played like that. Jared, what do you like?
For me, it's still got to be Forsberg-Arvidsson pairing on this first line. Even though Nashville's on the road here with Dallas, I think they'll pair up nicely with a chance for potential. So there's really my only plays on a forward perspective from Nashville. You look down, Yossi, I never get them right. Subban, I swear I never get them right. So both of these guys, they do contribute offensively. It's just I always pick them at the wrong time. I think 6,300, 5,500 is a big risk for tomorrow. I think if I'm looking to spend $6K, I think that Shea Weber is in a better spot than these two guys. Goalie-wise, I'm not going to take a chance on either goalie in this game. Going across here to Dallas, it is a 5.5 over/under, which tells you, Vegas isn't predicting a lot of scoring. And from my side of things, I don't think either. So I'm going to agree with Vegas here. It's hard to think there's going to be a lot of scoring. I can see this being a 2-1, 3-1 type game, 3-2 type game. So not a lot of DFS potential, if you ask me. But when you look, I think most people are only going to agree that this first line's in play. Ben, Sagan, Radulov, And even at that, they haven't been the Ben Sagan Radulov that we've seen, when they were scoring almost, multi goals every night. Now it's really few and far between. Klingberg's overpriced at this point now with his production. And tomorrow, once again, not a good spot for him. Fedun, 3,100 for 16 shots in 5 games with a goal. He's worth a chance, worth a flyer, I think. And like I said, no Kudobin for me.
Yeah, I don't really care for, like I said, this game too much. But just quick talk about it. Nashville side for me will be Forsberg, Johansson, or Victor Arvidsson. I don't mind them 3 off the top line. Fiala and Cal Turris off the second line for me. That would be the only ones off the second line for me is Fiala and Turris. Defensively, Roman Yossi's, I just think I'm in agreement with Jared. Shea Weber for the price is a better play. Ryan Ellis or PK Subban is fine as well. I do have interest in Pekka Rinne. And as far as the Dallas side goes, Jared pretty much nailed it there, too, in my opinion. It's Ben, Sagan, and Radulov, and not even really Ben for me. Ben has not really been doing too much of anything. So, I mean, at 5, whatever. No, Sagan and Radulov really are the only 2 I have much interest in at all. That would be it. And Klingberg at 5,400 is not worth it. As a Lindell at 4,100. No, you want to take a shot on Heiskanen at 4,100? I'm more on line with that than anything else. That's it. I like Pekka Rinne to win this game here. Nashville 2-1. Last game on the slate. Arizona heading into Edmonton to take on the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers are a minus 150 home favorite, over under of 6 in this game. We should see Darcy Kemper and Mikko Koskinen. Jared.
Well, for me, I like this game. I might not game stack it certainly in a main slate here, but I do have a lot of interest in a full-on game stack in the late slate here, running the McDavid, Draisaitl, and Nugent Hopkins combination. All 3 of those guys. And where am I going to get my price savings? It's going to come from, you look here, take a flyer on some of these guys here. Nick Cousins, 3,500. You could even do a Lawson Krause at 2,800, a Josh Archibald at 3,000. I look for this to be a high-scoring game. Galchenyuk certainly in play at 5K. And then we go down here to defensemen. I don't even mind. Ekman Larson will be in play on this game tomorrow against what I think is going to be more of a 4-3 type game with a lot of DFS potential. And I certainly wouldn't mind risking it on a late slate entry. Kemper, like you said, he's played a little bit better, but I think Edmonton being back on home ice, McDavid not scoring in 5 games, I think that they're going to get a boost, and I think Edmonton will win this game. I don't want to really take a chance here on Koskinen, but I do have interest from a forward perspective. Even going down the defensively here for Edmonton, Klefblom, Darnell Nurse, both in play for me as well. So I do have a lot of interest here. Like you said, more on the late slate. Even in the main slate, I wouldn't mind looking this way for a couple players, whether it be Alex Chasen at 4K, taking a chance on where I think there's going to be a chance for him to pop an assist and a shot or 2 there. And same with Zach Kassian. Maybe he'll get a assist, possible goal as well. And you're going to need the price savings. And I think this game will be a nice game to look at. I think we're going to see a lot of forwards getting involved on the score sheet in this one.
I agree with you. I like this game. I think there's plays on both sides. I am more on the Edmonton side, believe it or not, here. But if you want to look at Arizona here, Stepan and Archibald, I don't mind that. I like the second line with Galchenyuk, Nick Cousins, and Clayton Keller. I do like Brad Richardson as well at 4,200, but it's really the second line, Galchenyuk, Cousins, and Keller for me. Jordan Will scored a goal today. Yay for him. I like Ekman Larson at 3,900. That's a great price. Goligoski at 4,300 is a pretty good price too. Osterley at 4,100. That's a great price. Edmonton side here, obviously. Connor McDavid, all day, every day. I could see him scoring 2 goals here tomorrow. McDavid, 2 goals and an assist, maybe. Something to that effect. But I like him with Draisaitl. Throw in Cassian to finish out the stack at 34. And for price savings, why not? Second line with Nugent Hopkins and Chasen. That's fine as a pairing. Fine. That's pretty much it for me, though. Wouldn't go anywhere else. Clefbaum is in play. Larson is in play. Darnell Nurse is in play. All 3 defensively. I really like Clefbaum and Darnell Nurse both, though. And I really do like Draisaitl with McDavid. Cassian, yeah, just because he's paired up with those 2 guys, that's great. I don't like Darcy Kemper here. I'm pretty certain he is confirmed. I don't want no part of him. I do have some interest in Koskinen, but it's just very little. I'm sure I'll have myself talked off of him by morning anyway. So with that being said, that's it, guys. It's a whole slate breakdown. 9 games. I like it. You got anything else to add, Jared? If not, we can go ahead and get out of here.
No. It's nice to see we could take a couple games off here and kind of look at 6 games here, 7 games potentially. Now that we've looked and analyzed this, a lot of different plays on the way. I don't think we're going to have as big as the games like today with Chicago and Ottawa. From a DFS perspective, those are one and a 1.5 season almost seems like. So but join the Slack channel, guys. I can't express that enough. We're getting a little it seems like we're getting more viewers in the channel. Hopefully come on board to that Slack channel, guys. You can set your notifications. I don't think the notifications come across overwhelming if that's what's hesitating. We get a couple nice poll questions in there, and I get a lot of ideas from the Slack channel myself.
Sure. It's a lot of fun, man. So that's it. If you liked the video, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And like Jared said, join us in the Slack. I need your email address. We'll send that invite right over to you. Let it in the comments below or hit me up at DFS Quarry over on the Twitter machine. Jared, good luck the rest of the night. Everybody else, good luck the rest of the night. And we'll see you guys again for tomorrow's breakdown.